Hi everybody, welcome in. Today I'm going to show you how to make leaves, this pretty little leaf, on the Cricut without the need for Cricut Design Space. I do use a couple of applications in this, the first one being Canva, which you can see me in here now. And I've basically gone to the elements page on this and selected 4 leaves that I'm happy with. What I do from there is actually give them their own page, so they've only got one leaf on each page. Once I'm happy with the ones I've selected and I've put them on their own page, I then go into save this, and you want to save this as a transparent background. Then I'm going over to IBIS Paint. I really like this app. It's free. You can pay, there is a paid version, but for what you can do in the free version, it's totally unreal. It really does a lot of good things for people doing digital art. So I'm starting off in here, and what I'm after doing is filling in all the blanks with black. So I've just clicked on the outer layer, and I'm also now just filling in those white bits. This will become more understandable as the video goes on. So we're saving that, and we're saving that with a transparent background. Then we need to head over to the Cricut Design Space, because that's where we need to actually cut these from onto our Cricut. And I'm just selecting those files that we've already saved, and these do show up as a blank black screen on you as you're downloading them, but once you've uploaded them to Cricut Design Space, as you can see there, the outlines are already on there. So ignore the green, blue and red thing. I had a couple of different projects going on at the same time, so we're just concentrating on the leaves in this tutorial. I've basically just uploaded each one of those files into Cricut Design Space. So there's like a black shadow layer, and then we've got the actual veins of the same leaf. So we've got 2 of each of the leaves that we've chosen. So now I'm just going to go in and change the measurements because I want them all to be the same size. Also, the black leaves need to be the same size as the veins, otherwise this project won't work. So just clicking on the measurement there and just putting in the size that I want for them. Obviously that depends on your project, and I'm just putting them in some order so you can actually see what they look like from each leaf. So we've got all 4 of them there ready now, and we're clicking on basic, and we want to change these to different colours. So I'm changing one of them to one colour and one of them to another. The reason why we're doing this is because we want it to cut on a different mat from different materials. And we've also got a couple of other projects there, so please ignore the other projects, but we're concentrating on these 2. So from there I am putting the paper down that I want to cut out of. This is just a piece of green paper that I want these leaves cut out of. So as you'll notice, it's up there on the left hand side of the board, so I need to rearrange these leaves to actually go inside the area where the paper is, so it's not cutting outside of the paper. So just measuring it up against what is on your mat and what is on the screen, and just making sure that all them leaves are actually inside the area of where you've put the paper. Then we're connecting to the machine, and I am going to select the material. It's just taking it in and doing its thing. Cricut Maker 3 is actually pretty quick, but I know this can take a bit of time, so I'll speed this up for you. So we're just cutting the outline of the leaf on this one. They're all cut out quite nice. So let's flip that over, and the reason why I did this is just to make it easier to come away from the card. It's normally to stop it from sort of rolling or curling, but if you're only working with very small pieces like this, you can just pull them off. It's not necessary to sort of bend it right back if you don't need it. If you need a piece to be completely flat, then obviously, you know, turn it over and take it off from the back by bending the mat. So I'm just pulling them off one by one, and this is going to be the back of the leaf. So as you can see, they've laid pretty flat there. I do tend to bend it over a little bit more towards the mat itself rather than the actual card or paper that I've got on. So now I'm putting my second piece of paper on, or should I say a piece of card on here. This is just craft card. The back side is going to be stuck to a card, but if you're going to be using this to make a mobile or anything that you need both sides, then obviously make sure that you've got the green on both front and back. So just braiding it down there just to make sure I've got all the edges put in place, make sure they're all stuck down, and then I can load this one up. The Cricut design space has now gone on to the next cut. So this one's going to cut out all the little veins of the leaves, and you want to do this obviously in a green if you're doing leaves. You want to choose a different shade of green than the one we did for just one solid colour. So again, I'm going to speed this up for you. So that spits that out quite nicely, and we've got the outline of all our veins on this leaf and also the outer edge of the leaf as well. So same process as before, I'm removing the outer layer first so that I can leave the leaf outlines and veins actually attached to the mat. This will help with actually weeding out them negative spaces. So I'm just going to go in now and use my weeder tool, a Cricut weeder tool, and this is basically just a very sharp point. I use this for pretty much everything to do with Cricut, any type of vinyl or any paper or anything like that. Basically removing the areas that you don't need. Obviously you don't want to be poking holes in the bit that you do need, so just be careful where you're actually using this to lift it up. So as you can see there, I've took out the middle space, the negative space, and this is going to leave us with just the outline and the veins of the leaf. Just basically take your time, do this bit right, and these leaves look really pretty when they're all put together. Okay, so all that negative space has been pulled out now, and we need to remove these from the sticky mat. And I do this as gently as I can, just using the weeder tool just to start me off, and then I'm going to pull the rest up slowly, very slowly. And this isn't a very sticky mat, this is the light grip mat. So I'm slowly peeling that back, and that pulls up all the bits that I need. I like to sort of scoop the weeder underneath rather than using the actual point for it, especially on these parts where you're actually going to see them. But if if you dig into it a little bit, it's not too bad with cardboard, because you are able to stick it back down if there is any issues like that. But minimise it as much as possible. So we've got all them pulled off now. I'm using a needle tip glue bottle. So this is basically a glue bottle filled with tacky glue, and on the end is a little needle nose, and that just allows me to get a very thin amount of glue on these very thin lines. Alternatively, you could sort of put it on a plate or on a glass board, spread it out with a credit card or something similar, and just sort of dip it in so you're not touching too much glue on the sides. Just do whatever's easiest for you. So it didn't look like much at first, but you can see when I actually stick this on the top of it, it makes a really nice effect of a leaf that you can do on Cricut Design Space without using their program. There's different applications out there that you can use. In this video I've used Canva and RBIS Paint, but there is other options out there, some that you probably already know yourself and that you enjoy using yourself. So I'm just going in with a toothpick there and just taking any little bits of glue that may have seeped over. This glue does dry clear, but I prefer to take it off at this stage so that it doesn't get any kind of shininess to the paper or the cardboard. And we're basically going to do the same thing for all 4 of these leaves. I mean, you could go in and just draw these veins on, but because it's cardboard on top of cardboard, you do get that textured feel and look as well when you're using these on cards. I think they make really nice backgrounds for cards and any kind of floral arrangements. You could also go in with these and shape them a bit more if it was more like paper. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If there's anything else that you'd like me to have a go at doing for you without having to use the Cricut Design Space, please leave a comment and I will have a look at what people have written and see what ideas I can come up with from there. Have a great day everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye!